Hi folks, in this short video what we're going to do is we're going to have you practice with your calculator. So you can see here we gave you a question that told you that on January the 1st, 2014, a company issued bonds, par value or face value 500,000. They're paying a coupon of 3.5% per year, and it's a 4-year bond. Now again, they said interest is paid semi-annually, so they're paying 3.5%. That's an annual rate, so you're going to have to make sure that you divide it in half so that you can calculate the actual value of the interest payment being made by A to its investors. We wanted you to use your calculator to find the issue price of the bond. So in other words, what's the amount that a company would get when they issued the bonds to their investors? What would the investors give them? So the first thing I always advise students to do is to set your P/Y to 2. P/Y stands for payments per year. And we know that you're going to get semi-annual or payments twice a year, June 30th, December 30th, and December 31st. We know that the face value of what the investors are going to get back from a company, the issuer, at the end of 4 years is 500,000. We know the payment that the investors are going to get from a company every 6 months is $87.50, and we calculate that by taking 500,000, which is our face value, times our annual rate as a decimal, which is 3.5%. That's your coupon, but again, we only want it for half a year. Maybe I'll just make this a little bit bigger. We only want it for half a year, okay? Because it's paying interest June and December. So every 6 months, $87.50. All right, and then what we have here is we're going to have n is equal to 8. N is the number of interest payments that will be made over the term of the bond, and we know that's 8 payments. And again, for our market rate, I/Y, which is interest per year, we're going to use 4.5%. That's our market. So when you're doing your present value calculations, you have to use the market rate of interest here, but to calculate the payment, you're always going to use your coupon rate. If we did a compute PV, we're going to get $481,882. Now, if you wanted to, you could also do the journal entry, which means you weren't required to do it, but you could. So that means that you're going to debit cash for $481,882. That's the proceeds. Now again, don't forget, because the market's paying more than your bond, you have a discount bond. So you're going to debit the discount on the bond, and that's going to be how much? Well, you can calculate it. It's going to be the difference between the face value and the present value of the bond, the amount of cash that the investors gave you, and that would be equal to what? Well, again, you can plug that in your calculator to figure it out, and that's going to give you $18,118. So we can actually plug that in here. Now, don't forget that this wasn't required in the question, but if you wanted practice, you could do it. And then what do we know? The value of the bond payable at face value is going to be what? We know it's going to be 500,000. Okay, so this concludes our short video on how to use your calculator to find the present value of a bond. We've just added this piece here that shows you how to make the entry as well at the issue date. And this entry again would be at January 1st, 2014 if you chose to make it just for practice. So hopefully you found the video helpful. Now we're going to go on to another short video after this that deals with the par value bond.